Mike, welcome to Mad Money.
Jim, great to be with you.
Well, I've got to tell you, I got to ask you first, what's it like to be the steward of perhaps the most iconic storied brand in our country?
Yeah, well, I know it was an early pick of yours earlier in your career.
Well, because of Goldman Sachs, absolutely right.
Yes, and well, here's the thing. It's a story of a great American company, and so I take that responsibility very seriously. You know, since our founding, the founding values were about taking care of our consumers and our people and our investors, and the company's really done that through innovation. You know, we invented most of the categories that we operate in today, starting with Kotex and Kleenex in the Great Depression, all the way to adult care for people that are incontinent. And so it's, you know, we take our responsibility very seriously. We've always brought innovation to the core of what we do, and so we're really excited to move on to our next chapter of growth.
Well, okay, the next chapter of growth is going to be helped, I think, by this transformation that you've announced, which I think is very important because you're going to kind of localize things. All these brands need to be sold on a local level,
Yep.
and I think you could take share if you do that.
Yeah, the big thing for us is we saw the need to continue our transformation because I see an opportunity to really turn it up a notch, right? And to step on the gas a bit. We've kind of navigated some big challenges in the market the last few years. With the pandemic, we had disruption of the global supply chain. Right. So we navigated, as you're well aware, an inflation super cycle. And I think the team has done a phenomenal job kind of getting the company through that, healthier. At the same time, what we were focused on is proving out our thesis that we could elevate these categories. As I came in to KC, I felt like the amount of differentiation in the categories was not as high as what the consumers were looking for. And so that we had an opportunity to make the products better and set our brands apart a bit.
And when you do that, tell about the China story. It's rather amazing.
Yeah, I mean, the big thing was that we think there's a lot of growth left in our categories because we can make the products better, worth paying more for, and having consumers trade into a better performing product. And so the example in China is amazing. I think back in 2020, about 9% of our business was premium, super premium mix. 3 years later, we're at 42%. And so we have made a big shift in terms of the value and what the consumers are looking for, and they're demanding better products.
At the same time, we don't have any words that are successful companies that are still the verbs or the nouns. I never call tissue tissue. I always call it Kleenex.
Yeah.
How are you able to preserve that?
Well, you know, it starts with the brand, and it also starts with the fundamental differentiation in the product. We believe we make the best tissue products. We have unique proprietary processes. We invest a lot in materials development, product engineering, and process development. And because of that, we still, in a lot of cases, manufacture our own manufacturing assets.
Right.
And so our products are very differentiated. And of course, marketing plays a big role, and we're trying to serve consumers' the biggest unmet needs that they have.
Right. Now, at the same time, the productivity savings you're looking for at the meeting they're very big. Can it happen?
Yeah, we have some big goals. So to really turbocharge, I mean, there's really three parts of our plan, which is one, we want to accelerate pioneering innovation, which I'm happy to tell you more about. The second part is, you know, we got to find another gear on cost, and we want to be superior quality, lowest possible cost. And I think we can do more of that. And then the third part is we have to rewire our organization to get faster and better. And so those are really the three.
Well, why don't you give me some sense of innovation? I think some people may just say, what's new under the sun here?
Yeah. So the thing is, and it's interesting because, you know, I've worked in a lot of categories, and people always ask, well, isn't that a commodity? And we view it differently inside the walls of Kimberly-Clark because we feel like, hey, there's nothing more important than mom and dad taking care of their infant. And we think we can continue to do a better job of that. Question, why should there ever be diaper rash, right? And so for us, how we think about it is there's a hierarchy of needs, good, better, best. Leak-free confidence, platform one. Garment-like comfort and fit. We're inspired by all the innovations that has happened in the apparel industry. And then the third plank for us is skin health and wellness, which goes back to diaper rash. And we think we can do a lot better job in each of those different areas.
Now, you are in a sensitive space in the sense that we want the best, but two new generations are coming up, and they want to know the best, and they want to know how it's sourced. You spend a tremendous amount of time about sourcing. Some people's eyes glaze over on this. You are making substantive changes in the way the earth is going to be because of what you harvest.
Yeah, well, this dates back to my predecessor, Tom Falk, and my old boss, and who you know well.
Yes, indeed.
We're a company that is proud of our track record on sustainability. And we view ourselves as, 50, 100 years ago, we owned hundreds of thousands of acres of forest, right? And so we're now not in that part of the business, but we view ourselves as being one step removed from a natural resources company. So we take that responsibility seriously. We're one of the largest producers of tissue products, and we've set a new ambition. We believe we can produce our product line with being 100% free from natural forest fiber. Now, today, we still use a lot of natural forest fiber, but we're working on product development and engineering, and we think that someday we'll get to an exceptional product experience at a price that consumers can afford, that is much more sustainable for the
Okay, and I got to tell you, yes, you absolutely know my background. It was the first stock I recommended. It was at Goldman Sachs, and continue to recommend it, and then owned it for my hedge fund, because Kleenex will never be replaced. We're not going to have an Asian version of Kleenex on our table. At the same time, you've got a great dividend, yields 3.8%. But are you not surprised that somehow the price-to-earnings multiple is lower, I think, than it should be? Do you think these changes can make people realize that the stock is just too cheap versus its peers?
That's what we're betting on. I think we deserve more, and we can do more for our shareholders, and that's also why we're holding our Investor Day. And because we believe there's a higher degree of growth, there's a higher margin of degree of margin productivity that we can drive, and we can do that through a faster organization.
And just one last thing. When I look at people may not realize you have $6 billion brands. Can there be 7, 8, or are you just trying to make those $1 billion brands bigger?
Well, we're focusing on 12 core brands, and so yeah, we have 6 today. We'd love a few more, and of course, if everything goes as we plan, we'll see that.
Well, I got to tell you, I don't know. I like it as much as when I first recommended it, because it is an unassailable company, and you are a good steward of it. Thank you so much. That's Mike Hsu, the CEO of Kimberly-Clark. Look, not bad to get a good yield and some growth. Mad Money's back after the break.